what I'm doing today is I'm taking all this apart, taking it all out so I can get access to the blower and also get access to the air intake for the AC. I've already undone the 4 screws along the bottom here. Okay, so if you've got stuff bolted on the sides like I did, you need to undo them. I need to get rid of, need to get that out of the way, so that's 12mm. Just pushing it off to the side a little bit, not taking it out. So I've got a bolt there and a bolt on the other side, which is 10mm. So 10mm. Need to undo any of these arms here. So I've got just the one line to control that bit there. I've got 2 clips on the other side here. I'll use a screwdriver for that. Sorry, there's 2 bolts at the back there. It needs to come off. Feels like 10mm again. One on the other side. Yeah, I'll get that out there. Anything else behind there? Give me a torch on it. Oh yeah, behind that mount there. I'll just give you a look at that. So there's a mount. You can see that mount there. That's this guy. There's a bolt down here. Needs to come undone. I need to take it off. Again, can't see nothing. Sorry. That one there. That's a 12mm. That's loose there now. Okay, that's loose there. Get you out. That's the top section off. So this is where I'm going to try and put a filter. Now I need to get to the blower. This blower has a cover on it, so you've got to get this. These are all just screws, so just got to get these screws out and get this cover off, and then we can get to the bolt on the other side and get the blower out. Good. Hopefully I didn't get too much damage to it. Nah, beautiful. A lot of crap on that. So that's that cover that protects the blower motor. 8mm bolts there. We'll start from the back. There should be 2 of them at the back here. It's easy enough to find them because there's a bigger lip on the blower, so you just find them just by gliding your fingers along that big lip there, and you find out where they are. This fan off, which is being a little bit stubborn for me. once I get that fan off, then we can. Okay, this is becoming a bigger job for me than what I intended. The other Tarago I worked on, it all came apart a lot easier than this. I can't get the blower past any other way because I created the problem myself when I made all this junk. So what I will do to keep it like the fan all together is I'll loosen everything off so I can tilt that, get that blower out. Three on this side and three on this side. So let's two at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, and same on the other side. They're 10mm. We'll get them undone and we'll get that blower out. Okay, so we're all clear. There we go. Fans out, blows out. That's my part number, TCR10. As in the make of the van, that is, not the make of the blower. Okay, let's unclip these boys up here. Yeah, push up. Okay. Let's get this guy out of here. Got something else holding on. What is it? Might just be something in the way, not holding on. Now we got the AC plug over there. Yeah, got to squeeze it at the back to get that plug out. It wasn't too hard if I had to just get on that right angle there and voila. Anything else connected? Yes, I have another connection further down. Just connection after connection on my van. The other van was just a blower. That was it. Oh no, this one's a lift. Come out easy, but they've got to lift the back of the plug on that one to unclip it. Okay. Now I've got a wire there that I've added. That there is for when the AC comes on, my electric fans kick in. So whenever I turn the air conditioner in the van on, the fans at the front will kick in as well, so I got more force. Look at all that guck. On the back of this, that's the resistor. So that's what controls the blower speed. There's that resistor. And I'm going to have to cut that cable that I added. Okay, that's it up. All in all, I've only been here for like 40 minutes. Seems like forever. Okay, so now I need to clean all that up. Okay, so I'll just do a little bit of a zoom in. See that guck that builds up in there? There is no cabin filter to prevent this from happening. But mine's all greasy, not dry. Now, according to one of our members on the Facebook page, there should be a drain hole underneath that because it drips away. Well, I'm going to do what everybody else probably shouldn't. I'm going to hit this degreaser and hopefully it runs away. Probably shouldn't do this, but hey, someone's got to do it to show you whether you should do it or not. Let's see if we've got a drain happening somewhere under the van. Oh, nothing yet. That. Now I can hear it running. Okay. That's coming out around where the gearbox joins the motor. But all that water pressure, I've bent these things a little bit, just there, if you can see that. So light water spray and some more degreaser. Don't do a full force like I just did. Alright, I'm going to let that sit. Just going to let that soak for about 10 minutes and then I'm going to hose it off. Softly, that is, not full blast like I did a second ago. I didn't bend them too much with the blast. Recognised what was happening straight away. So they're only just tilted down, they're not blown out or forced away. But I will fix them up a little bit. Alright, that should be long enough. See, doing it to my own van, I can go drastic measures if I need be. I'll fix it myself. Well, let's see how, that's a lot of water, so we'll see how we're going on this side. So I've got a tiny trickle inside. Nothing too major, but it's a good thing to know. Do little bits of water at a time, and cleaning this will be fine. I'll show you what I mean. Obviously, if you've got too much water, it's not draining quick enough. It's got nowhere else to go. It's got to go in the cut, hasn't it? So probably go. Like that. Use half as much water to give it a chance to drain away so it doesn't go into the cabin. Now I have a little screwdriver. I'm just gonna now these are soft, so you can't be too quick with them. Just take your time. I'm gonna bend these little guys straight again. Very grimy under mine. The Tarago I did not long ago was all dry. but lots and lots of fluff. Mine was more guck, grime. Be real careful with this stuff because it's brittle. Too hard on it, it breaks. You be gentle with it. I'm doing it rather quick because I've done this many times before. Air conditioners and so forth. You don't want to leave them flat because that prevents air going through, affects the cooling. Okay, that's looking good. Yep, I'm happy with that. Just a bit of a zoom in there. Right, for now, so I can still drive my van. In case of emergency, I need to go somewhere. I'm going to make it so I can still drive her. Alrighty. That'll get me out of trouble. Just so I can still drive her. Alright, the next part I'm going to do is take the brushes out of the blower motor, so I'll make that a different video. So now the next bit here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a filter over this section. I've got this stuff from eBay, which is air conditioning acrid fibre, and you can see through it quite easily. But this should catch all the fluff and everything that normally gets pulled into the car, what we normally breathe in. And say it's 12.5 inches across, 8 inches down, and I collect these things, these crates all the time, because you just never know when things like this will come in handy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this to place in here to hold the filter in place, and this is just one step. So I'm gonna have to cut along here and the sides as well. So I'll be getting this area and the bottom, which is going to hold in place. Obviously I'm going to have to tuck the fibre in behind the piping there, and that'll just make it so much easier to clean for next time, just to take the fibre out. It's washable. No, I'd just like to mention, because I have a tendency to forget to include things in my videos, purely because I'm thinking of it, think to mention it later, and then later on I've forgotten. Big problem I have with that. So I just want to mention, when I was hosing all this down before, cleaning it all up, water got inside the cabin. Only a small amount of water, but what I wasn't paying attention to when I was cleaning up around the top area was how much water was blowing up here, and so the water that got into the cabin would have gotten up through here. Still, like I showed in the beginning, just do small bits so the water can drain as quick as you're putting it in, so you don't flood it in here. But be careful not to get water up in this area here, because water that sprays up here will go into the cabin. Okay, so you can see how I've got that fabric there that's covering that whole vent of the evaporator. Now this is the shape I've had to make my wire mesh or wire frame, whatever you want to call that, and I've had to cut that part there out to fit past here. And that's perfect. Now what I want to try and work out is just a way that I can make that stay like that. So simplest solution was just a little cable tie, so the wire pulls across a little bit. It kind of locks it in there. It's a little bit loose, but it's not going to fall forwards. That cable tie is just bringing the wire across a little bit, so it sits behind here. It can't fall forwards. That's all it needs to be. That doesn't need to be super tight. So even as age goes on, that cable tie might become brittle, but it's not pulling any. It's not holding any load, so that should be fine. Okay, so now we'll go to the next step, whatever that may be. I haven't thought about that yet, but it's probably putting it all back together. Okay, I just want to show you this quickly. On here, it has a directional which way goes what, positive and negative, right? But it's a 12 volt motor. It makes no difference why it's got to rotate in that direction is because of the fan that's on top of it has to rotate. This one here has to rotate in this direction. Okay, but if these blades were facing the opposite way, then it would have to rotate in that direction. Now, I've seen people, they comment, I've got a new blower motor, but it's the wrong way. It's meant to rotate right, not left, whatever. As long as the blade is correct. No, sorry, scratch that. You can reverse the polarity on a 12 volt motor, so you can still use, even if the motor says that positive and negative, for 12 volts motors you can go either way. I'll get a cable that is not shorted out. A little alligator clamp, guys, short out easy. So that's rotating the correct way right now. And now I'll reverse the polarity. It's a 12 volt motor. They go either way. It doesn't matter. So if you do get a blower motor and the polarity is differently, that just means that you just have to cross the wires over on that plug. Don't go thinking, oh, I've got the wrong motor, I can't use it, okay? Okay, another mention of sometimes with these guys, the resistor, when the controls in the van itself, you try to put it on low or high or something, and one speed doesn't work, it generally means that the resistor is faulty. So the parts that you want to get out here, now this is the wires to my resistor, and there's not much to it, is there? So, but what I'm showing is, if you take the bottom cover off, the protective cover, you have access to these guys that you can take off without having to take out the whole thing. Now, alright, taking out this blower motor would have probably would have been easier if I'd just taken this whole box out, so I could turn it upside down like this, get access to the bolts easy. So at the beginning of the video, when you saw me doing it the other way, probably this way's probably easier. But you can do it in the car still if you really wanted to. Okay, so with with my setup, I can take the resistors and the controller box out from the back without having to take the whole casing off. Now the part number here on this guy is 077800-0270. So in case you're needing to buy the part and you can't see the part number or something. Okay, the motor is spinning more freely, not like I would like it to, but you can see that before I do it, it would only go quarter turn. When I did that, I'd spin it hard and it would only go about that far. So definitely more freer. I'd like it to spin more than that, but hey, it's a lot better. Okay, so the next part I'm going to do, before I bolt it all back in, just so it's easier to reach, I could do it when it's in the car, is I'm going to put a filter over the top of the blower as well. Okay, even though I've lowered that, I still have that same problem. There's not really a lot of room in here, so I can't function that door all the way. Now, here's the thing, if I lowered that a little bit further at the back there, or if I bent that mesh, the door would probably work, but I don't have any room to put a filter in there either. So I'm going a different way about this now. I'm going to take that top back off in a second, and I'm going to cut this little $5 bin up that's got a mesh on it. That's nice and thin, also nice and strong for what I need to do. So I'll take the material from that to make my filter work in there. Okay, the dilemma I'm having here is, how am I going to make all this, what I want to do, work? And I think I've come up with a plan. This idea here, good idea, but it's not going to, I want to be able to change the air still from in the cabin to outside. But if you're happy to just keep it as either way, you could just set it one way or the other and be done with it, got your filter done. I know that with the back filter there, I've already won. I'm already at 100% better than what I was. But I'm not completely satisfied with that. I want another way that I can clean it. So I've got two of these here, thanks to a friend who was stripping a van of his. He gave me a spare. So I'm going to mark along here. I don't have any other way of cutting this other than with a soldering iron. Okay, so instead of cutting everything up, I've chosen defeat. Sometimes you just gotta call it a day and they're alright. That's just going to take too much mucking around. So this is my outcome. This is what I'm going to have instead. So that's still going to do something. It's going to stop leaves and so forth coming in. It's still going to offer a ventilation, but air will still get past these points. But I would say that's probably 90% effective. Better than nothing. And I've got the other one that's 100% effective, so yeah, that should be alright. Okay, so you can see here, I've got the door still works, but you can hear it rub. That's alright. As long as it's doing the job, I'm happy. What a difference it makes in here. I can feel that fan, but not only that, I can hear it. Standing on the outside, even when I've you can hear the fan blasting away. Gotta fix this. Feel that, that's awesome. Alright, 517,000 kilometers. Oh, guys, doing pretty well.